Bienvenidos a League of Latam. Today we're going to have it in English. Welcome to League of Latam, the podcast, the show where we talk about gaming news, the game development industry, game development in Latin America, game development in the world. We are your hosts over there,
Edgar Lunarcito coming at you in English now, as you can hear, and this is because we have a really special guest with us. So the entire podcast is going to be in English. Gallito chicken, gallina hen, all of that stuff. You guys should be in here. And this is because joining us today is, you can introduce yourself.
Hi, I am the CEO of Amber, based in San Francisco, California. Being with the company obviously since the very beginning, co-founder of Amber, and really proud and excited to be here in Guadalajara, Mexico, sharing this podcast with Papachito and Luna.
Yeah, welcome, Mihai.
So let's get started. We have a lot of ground to cover, and as always, here in this program, we want to share first and foremost Latin American news, and then we go on to more international stuff, and then we go on to more pop culture stuff. So the first news that I want to share with you guys is there's going to be an event called Smash Factor X in Ciudad de Mexico or CDMX. And it's basically a tournament, Smash Brothers and a bunch of other stuff. It's going to be there in the Pepsi Center. And why am I sharing this with you guys? Because there's going to be an opportunity for indie developers to showcase their games. So if you guys are working on anything that you think it's worth sharing, please, you can look for this. It's the IPA, International Play Allegiance demo. At Smash Factor in the Mexico City. So they're going to choose 5 projects or 5 games, and they're going to give out 5 spaces for you to be there in the booth and actually showcasing your game. I got to tell you guys, this is a big opportunity for anyone who hasn't had a shot at showcasing their game, but it's also quite stamina demanding to be at a conference, and you should know. Sorry, you should know this. It's standing on your feet. And giving out the same blurb over and over and over and over again to whoever approaches your stand. Mihai, have you ever been in a booth?
Absolutely. Back in the beginning of my career, when I was working with Activision as a game tester, I was actually a demo boy at E3.
Oh my God! How was that?
It was super chaotic and tiring, but I got to hang out with the booth base, so that was fun.
Yeah, that's very cool.
I still have booth base.
Yes, they're loud now. And we still have the cosplayers though. I mean,
yeah.
Right. So,
yeah. Yeah. Is there any substitution for E3 nowadays? There isn't, right?
Well, I think the GDC is now the biggest conference in the US, and you have PAX, which is pretty big too, and
right.
Southwest, which are more consumer
oriented.
Right. And I feel that once you're in that flow of being in the convention and showing your games and whatever, you also are more vulnerable to see the reaction of the players with your game. And that's really what you get out of it as a developer, in my opinion, is you see how people react to your game. That can be quite disheartening, but if it's disheartening, then it's good that you saw it. I've been there where people just go up and then you're like, hello, and this is my game, and they literally just maybe throw the controller away, don't listen to you, turn around and leave. It's also quite tiring for the assistant. So, there's also that. But I think it's what you get most out of it is when the rubber hits the road type of sense, and you actually see the reactions of players. And it can be quite fun, and it can be quite like a bucket of ice water in your face, which sometimes that's the way it should go. I also wanted to tell you guys about a new showroom that's opening, or show floor is going to be open, which is Pixelatel. You should know about this by now. And Pixelatel is going to have an area for video games as well. If you are in Guadalajara, you can take advantage of that. If you live near Guadalajara, you should take advantage of that. So Pixelatel is going to be on, I think December?
I'm not that sure.
Anyway, you guys should look it up. It's going to be coming in the next few months. But the the submissions just opened this week. So if you guys have anything to share, you have Pixelatum or you have the IPA. Moving on.
There's going to be a bigger presence of video games now. It's September the 3rd to the 7th.
Right, right. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with Pixelat. I've never been, but September 3. And thanks, Jorge.
Yeah.
Moving on, we had a stream this week from Capcom Next, and they talked mainly about 3 games, and we're gonna see this teaser trailer, and then you guys are gonna tell me your first-hand reactions. What do you think it's gonna be like? So let's go to that right now. There it is. What do you guys think? Ring any bells?
Looks pretty cool. It reminds me of many action adventure games with this like samurai Japanese mythology motif.
Yeah, I distinctly remember Onimusha, I think it was the name of it, a really big one on PlayStation 2, I think it was, and then Onimusha Tactics came out. It's like a certain vibe all the Japanese games have, right? It's a certain vibe of over-the-top animations and really, you could say even cheesy HUD or displays or whatever, but I find that it's like a hate or love thing. So you either love that style and love having all that information always on display, or you either like go and shy away from it. So it can be one or the other. The other game that they talked about, it's actually a remaster. So let's see that right here. And let's talk about it. I'm sure you know this game, but let's see.
Say, buddy, you mentioned something about research for a story. Frank West.
Remember that name, because the whole world's going to know it in 3 days. Woo-hoo! What? Did you just say zombies?
Take a look out there. Those ain't zombies. What would you call them? Quick, move! Get over here!
Madonna!
This is my store! A customer!
Okay.
So yes or no? What do you think about that? So
No,
what about remasters?
I think there's a way to do, justice to a classic game and to update it to the platform. Make sure that the keys that are
Metal Gear.
absolutely keys that are used to a certain graphical standard and want to play it on the latest platforms have access to it. So I love that. I would not be in this specific example of
Should we get into remaster compatibility? In Amber, it would be convenient for us to do more.
Absolutely. I think we should. I mean, we are big fans of many games that should really be updated. First and foremost, in my book is Morrowind. I absolutely love that game, and I would love to, to work on it and update it. Unfortunately, Bethesda doesn't have a remaster strategy at this time.
At all, right?
We asked them, and they said, no, we have to kind of think what should be our strategy in regards to classic games. And, I respect that. I really do think there needs to be a strategy that kind of, helps them kind of focus on the biggest opportunities. But as far as Morrowind is concerned, like, that would always need to be at the top of the list. Right. So,
okay.
It would never fall outside of the strategy. That's my point.
Yeah, I also enjoy remasters until there's a certain tendency of studios, like they mess a little bit too much with it. Like, for example, in Dead Rising, I read that it's going to have an autosave feature, which kind of flies in the face of having, if you never played the game, you have this clock that is continuously running out. Every decision you do matters. You choose to rescue this dude instead of that dude, and then that dude dies, and that opens up different quests. So if there's an autosave feature, that kind of like goes into
the design.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like, why would you insert that?
I guess people like studios want to cater to the new
To the expectations.
yes.
But yeah, you can only do that if the game design, the original game design allow it without, ruining the experience. So I think you need to stay very faithful to the original intent of the game designer, the creatives that made the game.
Yeah, completely agree. I don't know which was the last remaster. Oh yeah, I remember now. I played the Dead Space remaster.
Oh shit! But that
was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was really good. Yeah.
That was pretty good.
And even it's this thing of when you like re-encounter a game, you forgot like certain details about it, and you like kind of rediscover it, and that's also.
I think that was done with a lot of love and care, so it shows. I mean, frankly, Dead Space was such an incredible game from both kind of narrative and mechanic and graphical perspective. The time it was released, I'm not sure it needed a remaster so soon.
Right. Interesting.
Like, I think it's still pretty viable in its original state, but yes, it's improved a number of things. They did justice to the original concept.
And they put out like a spiritual sequel, right? What was the name of it? Something Protocol. That it didn't do very well. I think it's.
Oh, but it was for another platform like PS Vita or mobile or something. Yeah, it's like cartoony, right?
No. I'm talking about another space like horror kind of adventure.
I don't know.
Callisto's Protocol.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it was the same studio, the original founders of Visceral left EA.
Whoa, we didn't know that. Oh, we have someone in the chat, Jonah R. Gonzalez, just saying hi.
Hello, Jonah. Thank you to all the 30 persons that are looking at us and watching this from Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, X, or whatever.
If you guys have any questions you'd like to ask the CEO of Amber, Mr.
Go for it, because I'm pretty sure that you're not going to see him that soon again. So
if you're watching this replay, ask your questions in the comments, and we'll make sure to shoot them towards Mihai and get his take on it.
By the way, we were talking about this the other day, which is the killing zombies is always fun.
Yeah, you got it there. Thank you, Maria Aguilar. Yes, we believe in that. I think we'll see it pretty soon.
I mean, at the risk of stepping on some toes, I think the exact quote was, we know for a fact that whatever it is we do, killing Nazis or zombies, it's always okay.
Combine the two, you have killed Nazis.
Right.
Isn't there a game?
That could be the progression for that.
It's called Army of Zombies. It's the 4th iteration now, and they're exactly that.
And there was one with the Luton side. Introduced the zombie side.
Yeah, and I remember they caught some shit because of that on the last I think it was Wolfenstein.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
They have to protect it because
Exactly. Anyway, moving on to the last announcement from Capcom, and this was and now this type of thing, and it wasn't there wasn't really much to see. It was just this dude right here, Koshi Nakanishi, saying, by the way, we're working on a Resident Evil 9. That's it. Expect some more news soon. He was, of course, the leading Resident Evil 7. So you could fall into that. And in this note, I would like to ask you two guys, what do you prefer in Resident Evil games, third-person shooter or first-person shooter?
Bullshit.
A first-person shooter to me feels more visceral
Okay.
experience. But I have another question for you guys, which is, how do you feel about franchises that go on forever? I mean, Resident Evil 9, seriously?
Final Fantasy 16, 17.
What are they doing? Is it like Resident Evil 119? It's like it's an episodic series.
Yeah,
That's a good question.
like I can see the appeal of sport franchises going on forever because players get renewed and there's
The evergreen kind of gameplay, you mean?
exactly, but
But I wouldn't, under that argument, isn't like the others classics too, right?
I guess I mean yeah, I'm more in favor of seeing new IP than recycled IP. But at this point, I think it's unavoidable. Like even in TV and movies and like.
Wait, but us as Amber, as a company, if we hit it right, if we make a hit, and it continues to be a hit with the sequel, would we actually change the name of it or actually kill it? I think it would be like, oh,
It would be very hard to catch cow,
Yeah.
a lot of like brand recognition that comes with it. The risk though is to get into a creative route where like the next iteration is done by a team that is largely demotivated, they treat it as a corporate job, to create the next iteration,
Right.
and it just lacks soul and excitement.
And also, I think that it's weird. At least in my experience, when you're designing or thinking of a game, you almost never think of what's gonna come next. Like you always try to give it your all and put everything in that iteration because you don't know if you're gonna have a shot at making a sequel. So it's kind of the situation that the market puts you in, where yeah, your game is successful, and if it's successful, it's almost like a sure way to have almost no risk, or at least very very little amount of risk, to just do a sequel because you only have like a cast audience. But at the same time, you in theory didn't leave anything out. Like you put everything that you wanted in that game, so you have to kind of like come up with new stuff, and that can take you in all different directions.
The thing to ask myself is there's obviously a great demand for a particular type of gameplay or a story or lore, then why don't you make it a permanent world, like a subscription-based experience?
Like a game as a service kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Like Resident Evil MMO, right? And try to capture potentially a new revenue stream from people that really love that universe and want to spend more time with it, and then you can just add content and experience to that world on an ongoing basis, rather than making iterations of the same game. Because iterations of the same game is very much a packaged product type of thinking, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you have to put it on the shelf like every year, right?
I kind of wonder if the users or the actual core players of those type of experiences really want it to end, because then there's the other factor, right? I don't want another subscription service. I don't want to pay for another thing.
I was talking with
play in that case.
That's a big thing.
I was talking with a friend last week, and we talked about Eternal franchise, and we kind of like landed on the first time that this got like a worldwide this was a worldwide practice was with comic books. So you see the X-Men and they come out and the comic's successful, and then there's another panel, and then there's another panel, and to this day Wolverine's still out there doing stuff, and he has died like upwards of 70 times.
Can he die?
Right, and we talked about how the death of Superman was the first comic that started all, because after that, death really meant nothing, and you can just reboot and revamp and whatever. So we saw that as the initial push of that.
True. In a comic book, there's an inherent limitation of the medium, which is in a kind of online gameplay, open world MMO, there are no limits.
Right.
That the story can go on forever. You can live in that universe forever.
Yeah,
Theoretically, especially if you procedurally generate content within that world.
Oh,
That could be really cool. I just think it opens up. I mean, every franchise that has been around for a while needs to think about creating a world like that expresses the lore.
Right.
Because otherwise, kind of a lost opportunity really to engage players on a more permanent basis.
Yeah. That's
And
interesting.
and you know, like I'm trying to think of Resident Evil. There are many stories that can be told in the context of the same city. Like, you know, generally speaking, the action happens in the same city or thereabouts, and the city can lead to many stories happening and to successive rounds of outbreaks occurring over time.
Right.
It can be a timed event too, where you have to come in and fight.
Right, and the evolution of the city too, how
Right.
it's transformed actually by the events or seasons, maybe like Fortnite. I don't know.
Back to
It
work.
depends on the type.
Um,
We got some comments from Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. So Moisa Calepunta says, "Go Amber! So nice to see you. Saludos de Monterrey." I'm pretty sure that's Abraham Lara. Dude, we love you, man.
moving on to a study that came out on July 2nd, so 2 days ago, it shows that co-op games are on the rise, at least on Steam, in a big way. And that hasn't been the case for the longest time. I think I got the wrong screen there, sorry. And it shows us that almost 800 co-op games came out on Steam in 2023. And that usually is on par with Steam. Steam has like a bunch of games coming out. But I'm really, for myself, I'm happy to see co-op games coming out again, because I remember like, it was like 6 or 7 or 8 years ago, I thought there was like kind of almost like a drought of co-op games, like especially couch co-op. I remember.
That used to be such a great experience.
Yes, exactly. That's something that I felt has kind of like died, at least until now that they're coming out, of like the experience of getting together with your buddies.
Right.
And I remember like my LAN parties, it was a really huge thing, and it was kind of like this huge production because everyone came with their PCs and whatever, and they all logged in. Mika, do you remember having any LAN parties? Do you remember your first LAN party, for example?
Of course, you know, so again, going back
in the day.
I had a job with, you know, network operations center, where basically you're just monitoring, like, you know, the server infrastructure. So we had actually a lot of downtime while we were monitoring. So we were playing we were like, you know, 10 people, and we were playing Unreal Tournament. Just came out, and we were playing Unreal Tournament. We got really good at it. Days for hours.
Super fast.
And then also Quake 3 Arena, which to this day remains a fantastic like first-person shooter like experience. And you know, it's once you reach a certain level of skill, you can do like really amazing things like rocket jump, for example, you know, and strafe on walls, and I don't know, tricks that you can do if you're like a master of the game. But what I remember the most, how much fun is it to be in a room with your buddies and be like, you know, the trash talking.
Right, yeah, that's basic, right?
Yeah. I have this really cool memory of me, my brother, and my neighbors going to a local internet cafe to play StarCraft.
Oh, wow.
And it was 8 of us in the same room, and it was really cool because everyone put their. Do you remember the speakers that had like a little knob on them? You play with your speaker down, and then when you like made a nuclear bomb, like nuclear missile ready, everyone turned up. So everyone else was like, "Holy fuck, it's not gonna be me, it's not gonna be me." So that type of tense, it's really cool. And I haven't seen that in any other.
I mean, obviously you still have sound and you're connected with other players, but there's nothing like actually being physically in the room. Like you're missing something, you know, you can hear people's voices, but you're not quite as connected. Even if you play with friends, you're still somewhat remote from each other.
I concur.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
for sure. We got some questions from the audience, shall we? Or,
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
So Maria Aguilar says, Resident Evil played in arcade machines with guns. It's a different experience. Did you try that?
Have you tried?
Have you tried
I don't think I've tried. I remember playing this game, Something of the Dead, where you duck and then you shoot, and there's a pedal on it. And I did have a lot of fun in arcades because the actual visual experience of holding like whatever it is you have in your hand. But no, I haven't.
What was the usual one, like House of the Dead or those?
That's the one. House of the Dead. It was on rails, but
Yeah.
you still had to like duck and
And
whatever.
we still have arcades in Guadalajara.
Yeah, we do. Very few.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we still have Tinditas with King of Fighters. So
Yeah.
So are they,
when you get the tortillas, papacito, you can just spend the coin over there.
Right, of course.
are there any new machines in these arcades?
No,
They're still
those are all retro stuff. There's like complete companies just like revamping, their hardware to have thousands of emulators and stuff like that.
You kind of struggle to find new arcades. Like, well, I visited Japan recently, and of course, Japan has this. I don't know if they're new for them, but like the level of
They're newer than what we.
yeah, the whole arcade culture is really different there because people actually go there to play their video games instead of at home because most likely they don't have the space or whatever. And what I found really useful is that with the same card that you could use the subway system, you can go to different arcades and that's your save file right there. So you go to different arcade machines and you use that same and you're playing your save file.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. That's really cool.
All right, we got another question from Twitch. Here it comes. Rogelio Gaming says, "Hi, what do you guys think about the new Batman Arkham Shadow game developed exclusively for MetaQuest 3?"
Oh yeah, I saw that. We talked about that. I think 2 weeks ago. So there's some new VR game coming out. Batman.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, I think, I mean, first of all, I have to say that Meta is making incredible investments in supporting the
Billions of dollars, right?
Gaming. I think the market will completely collapse if they didn't do that. So the fact that you have a story game franchise coming to VR is no surprise because, again, Meta is funding that effort.
Right.
And, for developers and publishers that are interested in VR, if they get a kind of deal from Meta, all their development costs are being covered and then they get some margin on top.
Let's do it.
I mean,
Why not? You can put it like, why not?
Right.
Yeah, let's just play it, Rogelio, and let's get it. Yeah, I think it's gonna be one of
Yeah,
the
I
good
think
titles.
as with anything VR, it's usually pretty cool, but it's usually quite, as of today at least, quite difficult to access because of the hardware, of course.
yeah, I mean, the price point is not ridiculous, but I still have fundamental issues with the experience itself. Like, the fact that you cannot do really long-term sessions without, at least getting hot. Some people get dizzy. My number one issue is that I have to stop to like take the headset off and like,
Right.
air out my face. But
Yeah, just change the strap. By now, I finally bought one. Because, one of my concerns was like, all right, whenever somebody really starts using it or having it aside your bed, it's not going to happen. It's not a mainstream kind of platform, so you're not going to get there, right? You have your phone everywhere, in the bathroom, wherever, right?
That's the thing.
So you're competing against this. Oh, it's going to be a long way. But I bought the Meta Quest 3, first of all, because it's lighter, so you don't have that, heaviness problem that much anymore. And if you change the strap and you put a battery behind it, boom, you're done. I've spent 6 hours working for Slack and shit, and email over there. It's a really good experience.
aren't you bothered by the
Not anymore. Not anymore. It's not.
I mean,
I don't feel
still feel a difference looking at the desktop. Like, to me, it still feels like there's a gap.
Right. Try the latest update. And I haven't tried the Apple one, but.
Right.
The Vision Pro, I tried that. I had a problem with that one too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't tried
Which
it.
is,
Shitty.
I think
Okay, great.
it's almost a generational thing, maybe. We have another comment from Abner. Only handsome people. Cheers, my dude.
Puro guapo. Un beso, Abner. Te queremos.
So,
Abrazote.
moving on to the last bit of news, I thought with you guys, we got a new update from Nintendo Switch. They're going to be adding 7 new games for the NES emulator. So let's take a look at the trailer and we can talk afterwards.
Let's talk about it.
So, Mika, you said you played one of these? Some of these? Oh, okay. This is what I thought when you talked to me about yesterday when you tried hiding in the console and all this.
Oh, yeah, it was actually
Okay.
but I really and some of these I played later on Netflix because I'm just curious about this kind of stuff. I never had any myself. Well,
I can't believe it. Oh,
well,
well.
maybe on the front,
This is your question.
I mean, I somebody did it in their luggage, you know. So.
Right.
And
No.
most Romanians couldn't leave the country either. So it was impossible during communism to travel unless you were part of an official delegation or you had an important state function. So
Right.
history lesson for some other time, but I would say one thing that is really interesting enough. I'm curious about your opinion about it. I noticed like Gen Z and Gen Alpha is really into retro games.
Yeah.
Like for example, my son and his friends, they love to play. You know, they actually have many different anthologies or many different classics, and they play a lot of that stuff. You know, and obviously that's competing with the latest and greatest content that's being released.
Exactly.
So what do you guys think that is?
I think retro games scratch and itch that feels like really out of this world. Like it's so foreign for someone.
Language.
Exactly. It's like exciting because Gen Z specifically wasn't part of like what we went through, which is like no computers and then computers, no internet and then internet, that type of transition. That we see it as a straight upgrade. They just see it as I don't know, like a remembrance type of thing, like a trip. I specifically love the stories of uh, studios that for the NES or whatever, they had a lot of limitations. So they came up with like different creative solutions for that. That's really exciting. That's why I like retro games because I like thinking of, like what did they choose that or what happened or like why was that the norm? And I would say that it sparks a bit of nostalgia, but I really don't know why Gen Z would be.
I have a theory here, and by the way, I would love to hear your opinion as well on retro gaming. But my theory is that when you're dealing with a very simple concept, where you're dealing with very pixelated, basic graphics, your brain fills in the gap. So you basically are able to construct this very rich world because what you see on the screen is obviously
Like comic books in the panels. In between the panels, you fill up with imagination. Right?
reading Dune, reading the book Dune versus seeing the movie Dune, right? What you have built in your mind to construct that world as you're reading the book is so wondrous and amazing. Almost any sort of expression, artistic expression, will pale in comparison to the images and sites that you have constructed in your mind. So I think retro gaming somehow touches on that too. Like,
It forces you to fill in the gap.
yeah, absolutely, right? So, and then you fill the gaps with more of yourself, how you see the world. So it's a very custom experience in a way. But also, these games have tremendous creativity, and you know, the game design and some of them.
Because of the limitations, they did something that.
And also, they were like pioneers and geniuses, creative geniuses that were really exploring this medium, and sometimes they would fall onto really interesting mechanics. Not all retro games are created equal.
Yeah, right, of course. But they easy together.
But the pinnacle, the best games are truly have been replicated throughout the history of game making, and we continue to make games that use those same basic mechanics.
It's like they scratch the same niche that they have been scratching for a long time. Yeah, I can see.
For us, it's nostalgia. For the new generation, it's just discovering them, find
Right.
those experiences,
Yeah.
somehow communicate.
Discovering, and I also like the UGC platforms play a big role over here too because of the aesthetic part. I would say that Minecraft, Roblox, it's not super high HD kind of thing. So they go like they play that, it's fun. Oh, that looks sort of similar. All right, I'll jump into it. And the other thing that I think is happening right now, the whole like collecting retro consoles and the Chinese emulators, with 25,000 retro games, it's just so accessible for 40 bucks or whatever. Then you just have fun and it's beautiful and you enjoy it, right?
Yeah, I can definitely see that. But that's more of a hobbyist thing, right? I guess.
It starts there. That's the thing.
Like playing retro games is almost like archaeology, right? It's like so far in the past for them that they're like, oh, we discovering some long lost treasure.
Interesting.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense as well. Kind of like an out of this world experience.
So I'll put the question out there. So, what do you think?
Anyway, guys, moving on, we have some a bit more of news. Darkest Dungeon 2 will be coming out for consoles on July 15. If you haven't played Darkest Dungeon 2, it's a roguelike RPG with permadeath, and it's really dark. and we were actually talking about it, I think, last night, where your heroes have like permanent things happen to them, and that affects like the whole out of the game. I really like those games because you end up with a run that is really custom made or by you. So your story is really different from another person's story, which was the same promise that Fable had when it came out. So yeah, I really appreciate that. I don't know if you guys played Fable or Darkest Dungeon.
I played Fable, not Darkest Dungeon.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so, but we're going to play a trailer right now, maybe.
I played 4. I played Heavy Rain, which is also like one of the ones that actually, I was amazed on how I was speaking about that game, and somebody else said, that's not the game. And I was like, that's what I I thought it was like super interesting to discover the game through someone else's eyes who had actually gone through a different route.
Right. So let's take a look at the trailer and we can further discuss it.
I know failure well. I glimpsed it lurking at the ragged edges of your mind. I watched its venom spread through the veins of the world, and I trembled at its terrible reverberations. But I have seen its true nature. Beneath its bluster, deep within the debris of its crushing collapse, there lies a noble road. It calls out, if you are brave enough to believe, that you are not a prisoner of your past. That the fractured bones of this world can be mended. That a fragile flame, long guttered by sour winds, can blaze radiant once again. The time has come to face your failures, or be consumed by them.
I'm in the studio, addicted to the first one over here. I used to see them play in the game.
Right? Yeah. It looks really dark. And when you play it, you actually end up feeling like disheartened really often because you build up your team and then somebody breaks or fails or dies, they're gone forever. And that really leaves a hole in your strategy. Or you can try and bring them back from the dead, but they come with a lot of debuffs. Like it's this whole thing. It's really cool that I really appreciate. But moving on, guys, to the last bit of news. The Super Mario Bros. Movie has a date now. It's going to be coming on April, and this is Super Mario Bros. 2, April 2026. I don't know if you guys watched it at all, but again, that's going to be coming. And you guys know that right now the series to watch are The Boys. This week is episode 6, House of the Dragon, episode 4, Star Wars Acolyte. I don't know which episode it is. And, well, the Super Mario Bros. Movie 2 release. Sorry that I rushed through this, but now it comes the end of the show where I come up with something to do with you guys. So,
should we change the camera?
I'm going to be showing you guys 2 different images, and you have to tell me which one do you prefer. We're not talking about the specific title. We're talking about the whole idea, franchise, universe, whatever. Just tell me your first reaction, and you have to tell me why. But there are 20 of these, so we have to keep it really short. So just tell me which one, and in one sentence, why. Does that sound good?
Perfect.
Okay, so let's get started with this. Hold on, let me hide that, and I'll share my screen. And I know these are kind of impossible questions, by the way. That's kind of a point. So we'll start with you, and then we'll do you, and then the next one you, and that. So Mihai, the boys are invincible.
Oh,
Why?
I'm super huge fan of the original comic book series. It was 3D, it was punk rock, it was anarchic, it was unlike anything, any other comic book.
Okay. Jorge?
gosh.
Yeah, this is the point. People want to know you guys. So. It's supposed to be good.
I gotta confess, I wasn't acquainted with Invincible.
So the boys?
The truth is that I'm even like getting the Invincible comics right now, and I just got so hooked into it. The voice is amazing. I know they have they're in the fourth season right now.
Okay,
I haven't seen
that's
this.
fair.
Yeah, the first one was actually held my attention. I don't really love the animation style in
Mm-hmm.
but it held my attention because it was a really good story.
Yeah.
First season, second season, started kind of slow. And,
Okay, that's fair. Jorge, let's keep with you.
Yeah.
Goku or Superman?
Oh no, the Boy Scout.
Okay,
Yeah.
Superman. Mihai?
Yeah.
like Superman.
Okay, that makes
I believe he stands for, and it's what I think about DC too. I know
Okay.
there's a lot of people that's gonna hate me for this.
Well,
I don't care, but I mean it stands as the iconic stuff. You know, it used to be like something that you would aim for, right? And there was like a purpose, some values there that were
Right,
conflicting,
right.
and I love that.
Okay, let's move. Mihai. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Oh my God.
I'm going to say the seminal influence for me has been Star Trek.
Okay.
I've got
What?
more life values and philosophy out of Star Trek than I've gotten out of Star Wars. However, I love the action in the Star Wars and the narrative and the world and.
Wait, you're not going to tell me you're a Trekkie. Come on. Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Come on.
Now I get you. No.
You have to like peel off the layers of
Yeah.
greatness and kind of get back to what Star Trek envisioned. It envisioned a world where humanity is united and
Explorers.
flies across the galaxy, and it has a fundamental charitable mission at its heart, and it has really an evolved view of humanity. It's a very optimistic take.
Very optimistic. Yeah.
I have a feeling that people very different, probably.
Exactly. And that's why I like the latest movies. I mean, compared to the series, I wasn't.
I actually think Star Trek, even though it sounds weird to say this, I don't think Star Trek has truly hit its stride. And it's getting closer now, the adage.
Game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other thing too about Star Trek, you have to realize that the writers explored all the tropes in science fiction. And there's so much content out there. Like every single episode is another science fiction trope, sometimes explored kind of clumsily. There's a lot of clumsiness about Star Trek. It's a hard universe to love because, it's so cheesy.
Yeah, exactly. But you just hit the right spot there. Oh, come on.
So when it's great, it's truly inspiring. And I didn't get that ever from
I'm obviously a Warsi, so yeah, I'm all into the whole purpose, the magical part of the Force, this intangible thing, and the freaking remix. I know we all know that Star Wars is a remix. I think it's a masterful remix. And it's a freaking religion compared to Star Trek. I mean, it's even considered a religion.
I remember going into the theater. I didn't catch the first Star Wars in the theater. So my first Star Wars experience was Empire Strikes Back, and I was levitating afterwards. I couldn't even conceive that so much coolness could exist into the world, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, and I still think to this day that's the best Star Wars
Yeah.
ever, right?
Yeah.
So, but original trilogy, incredible. The system of values was
Yeah.
just a beautiful picture. I actually think George Lucas ruined it, and then Disney fucking shredded it.
And it's
the journey of the hero is there, but
dancing
now,
on the first,
I mean,
now it's becoming cheesy like Star Trek.
no, actually, Star Trek is not cool.
And now Star Wars is going down.
yeah, they hate it. They hate
How
it.
did we get here, guys?
But to be fair, I assume if Star Trek was pumping out as much content as Star Wars did, people would eventually hate it as well.
Well, Star Trek is pumping up as much content.
Oh, really? I
Yes,
didn't-
Just
Star
about
Trek is
here.
covering- and there's movies coming out.
Yeah,
too.
movies.
Okay, I'm exaggerating. But still, continually pumping up.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Which is a lot.
Okay, these get harder, so you know. Jorge, let's start with you.
This was pretty good. I hate using that.
Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat?
Oh, Street Fighter.
Why?
Yeah, totally. Street Fighter. I don't know, man. I always go
That's
back to
okay.
Ryu
You
with
don't have to
Hadouken. Even though I do like the latest Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat 1, I haven't bought them both, but I'm really into fighting games, and you know that. So, I don't know, man. The other one is classic. I know the Mortal Kombat 2, but it's just the whole ethos, what they've done with it, the art form, you know. I always feel that changes. They're separate, right? They're in a separate realm. And when I go through the history of Mortal Kombat, which also has got like shit,
By now it does, yeah.
it's crazy the amount of story and everything else that they got. Even the animation. Have you seen the latest animation movie? I was like, what's fuck? I really enjoyed it.
But Street Fighter animations is also amazing. I don't know if you've seen, well, I'm assuming you go Street Fighter, Mihai?
Look, to the question, Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat, answer Soul Calibur.
Yeah, I love it. I fucking love those guys, man. Come on, even freaking Yoda was there. Come on.
That was crazy, that's what I didn't
Yeah.
Moving on. Mihai, let's stay with you for this one.
No, we don't have the many Soul Calibur.
Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones?
Without a question, Lord of the Rings. And that is because, again, back in the day, we used to read books. I know this is not cool anymore, but the books are so deep and so amazing.
Yeah, they are.
And of course, the movies are absolutely awesome too. But when you come back to the original experience of reading the book, building the universe in your head, nothing compares to it.
No.
Game of Thrones, though, I have to say, one of the best TV series of our month was a contemporary.
Totally. Yeah,
So I don't want to
yeah.
diminish Game of Thrones in any way. Amazing.
You have to choose.
And George R. R. Martin books are okay. I've tried reading. I've read the first 3 of them, but it's not long.
Okay.
I think Tolkien is a master of the craft, and I think George R. R. Martin would basically get into that. I mean, come on, he created the Elvish language.
Right. Yeah.
Crazy. I had a hard time reading the book for the first time. I wanted to read it in English, and oh my god,
You mean Lord of the Rings?
it was such a challenge. I know I'm not a native in English or whatever.
Which one are you talking about?
Lord of the Rings, the first.
Right.
The
You know
first
what I thought that they missed at the end of the movies? All the songs that are in the
yeah.
book. And Tom Bombadil, I think is the name of the character.
Right.
There's so much more content. I mean,
The Silmarillion, man. I mean, that's
the
freaking
world
cool.
building is incredible, but you can't really fit it in a few
Yeah,
hours.
yeah.
of experience.
Right, yeah.
Let's
Totally.
move on.
Lord of the
Okay,
Rings.
let's stay with you. Gladiator or Spartacus?
Gladiator.
Okay, why? Do you know Spartacus? Are you familiar
Yeah,
with
I do. But it's embedded in my
it? Okay,
brain. I guess we saw it so many times, and
that makes sense.
yeah, it's just embedded in that. I think it was for the time, it was quite impactful too.
Mihai?
I would go with Gladiator as well. I
Okay.
think it was an amazing movie. I mean, no shade to Kirk Douglas and Spartacus, depending on the film at the time. But it's just Gladiator.
Right.
They're shooting the second one right now with Pedro Pascal.
And the story, you know.
I saw some pictures of Pedro Pascal actually didn't shave his mustache.
Yeah, I remember that.
He'll be the first, Roman Legionnaire.
Uh-huh. That's weird. Yeah.
Let's stay with you, Mihai. Marvel or DC?
Oh God.
I'll go with DC. Not because of cinematic universe.
Right, of course.
I think it had some hits, but generally speaking, it was very much on and off. Where Marvel for a while kind of hit after hit after hit.
Amazingly, yeah.
So let's take the movies out of the picture for a second and just talk about.
Yeah.
And I thought always that DC was more grounded, more gritty, more urban, not so much fantasy as much based on the characters. DC, they are kind of rooted in our reality.
Exactly.
And the world is like complicated and
Right.
messy
And the villains are amazing.
Dark.
and there's like a lot of tension.
Yeah.
Marvel felt like everything is kind of sanitized.
Yeah.
Proper and everyone is like looking good.
Yeah, kind of vanilla. Yeah. Rockefeller says DC all day, baby. Yeah, dude, I'm all into DC. My favorite decided to kill me for this. Fuck you all. My favorite superhero is Green Lantern. You know, it's just like I don't know why it's a childhood thing that I've been carrying for my life, and you know,
There's some trauma
there's some space bullies and spandex. Come on, dude. No, but coming back to what Mihai said, the Snyderverse, man. I mean, I really think, and you know that I'm a huge fan of Snyder in many ways, and I think he did a pretty great job. I bought all the versions of the freaking movie just to support the whole thing. I think even the movement, even though I really don't know, I'm talking out of my ass here, but I really don't know how that movement starts. But come on, man, how many directors have had like a movement around them in order to bring back a universe, right? I mean, I don't know many. So it's just like that's powerful. That means community and the way he communicates the whole thing and his vision about the characters and everything behind them. If you don't get in love with them, you get in love with Snyder and Drew and how he conveys how they could look like and what they mean. It's just like, gosh, not even the comic books gave me this. It's so complementary to what we have lived so far since childhood. So yeah. And yeah, the Green Lantern movie is not good. Sorry, friend.
Let's move on. Okay, same with you. Battlefield or Call of Duty?
Oh, Call of Duty, that's because I'm really, really bad at first-person shooters. Sorry, but every time I went to Battlefield, it was just like, terrible for me. Yeah, I struggled so much, and then the same thing happens to me. I'm old, sorry. But I'm with the Elden Ring and all those games that are super difficult. I go like, I'm willing to spend my time in something that I have. Yeah, sure.
Mihai, what about you?
For me, it has to be Battlefield because I actually worked on multiple iterations of the game. I did the dice to get met the product leader, worked on this shit for like years, and like I kind of bled from the back.
Yeah. Talk about the passion of those teams to building those games, please, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. It was definitely a lifestyle. People are fully invested. They love the game, and they will do anything to create a very high quality experience. And
that's always a great formula for a good game.
It was humbling to be on the team.
Okay, yeah. I knew how this was going to go, to be honest. Let's stay with you, Mihai, for the next one. Elder Scrolls or The Witcher?
Oh, nah.
No, I was just talking about Morrowind.
I know.
So, I would go with Elder Scrolls. I mean, it truly is because of Morrowind. Like,
okay.
Morrowind had an impact on me. Like, I did not realize that game making can be this
impactful.
And create this feeling in myself of becoming another character and fully inhabiting the world. And I remember the last section of Morrowind that you're like walking towards the volcano where the last fight takes place, and you have all these challenges along the way, but you keep going and it's like harder and harder and harder to keep fighting, and it was almost like a transcendental experience for me. I just didn't realize that game is so deep. I think I played a shit ton of it, but I think I've only seen like 30%.
Yeah.
Full now.
That's what happened with me, and I gotta confess something. I haven't played them enough, any of them. Although I've seen more content.
But you're familiar with the universe.
I'm totally familiar with the universe, but not at the point to describe it the way Patito is describing it. I haven't lived that journey, so that makes me think like, fuck, I gotta look back at it. Yeah. And then The Witcher, I really admire how it's handling the whole IP. So I saw the animation. I saw Henry Cavill just embody this dude, and I thought it was super interesting.
But this is, I assume, game comparison, not the TV.
It's just a guttural, like,
culture.
Yeah.
Because, Elder Scrolls actually never found expression in TV or film.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, I have.
I think it would be super difficult to just put it.
It's fucking tough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Move on. We have a bunch of these to go. Perfect.
We need to do this. Thank you, Lucy.
Yeah. Let's try to keep it short because we have a bunch of these to go. Jorge,
All right. So,
Resident Evil or Silent Hill?
Resident Evil.
Why?
I'm a pussy. No, I'm not into it.
100%.
Yeah, it's.
Mihai,
Next.
Gears or Halo?
Oh shit, man.
Halo, I found, I liked the game better. I also was the first-person shooter I played on the console.
Oh.
So I thought it was really stupid initially, but then kind of got good at it. I was like, okay, it's fun.
Right.
Especially coming from like a desktop,
Right. So you're used
keyboard
to it.
experience to go to controller on a first-person shooter.
Yes,
it's like,
and that's my comment.
like, but then you get sort of
Hard.
good at it, and it's okay.
Jorge?
I had fun with Gears. I actually ended I never finished games because I don't devote much time to them. I just collect them.
But Gears.
Yeah, I would go for Gears.
Okay, let's stay with you, Jorge. King Kong or Jurassic Park?
Shit, I think Jurassic Park.
Mihai?
I will agree.
Okay. I'll
Good.
brush through these because there's more.
Go for it.
Mihai, Indiana Jones or James Bond?
Oh,
It's fun.
Really?
yeah, all the way. So classy, and the tech.
Okay.
Yeah, come on, yeah. The Bond chick, come on, man.
Okay, that was good. Okay. The Shining or The Exorcist?
Oh, The Shining.
Why?
I kind of wonder.
Because you're a pussy.
Yeah. I'm a pussy. Yeah.
No, but
The
the Shining
close-
is it. Shining.
The Shining. I like photography, man. I do believe that the photography. I know that we're talking about totally different kinds of photography there, but the cult behind The Shining, and
There's called behind the Exorcist.
yeah.
Yeah. Mihai, I'm assuming you're The Shining team as well.
Shining.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Moving on. Mihai, Twilight Zone or Black Mirror?
Oh wow.
Black Mirror.
Oh, really?
Yeah, me too. All the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
More of a Twilight.
Black Mirror. I mean, Twilight is obviously historical, so you have to respect it.
Yeah, but the Black Mirror is a masterpiece.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Episode is
Like not having robots, man. It's just like freaking all
Have you guys
mind blowing.
Have you guys seen the newest Twilight Zone, the one that came out a few years ago?
No, I haven't. No.
It's kind of like Black Mirror.
Okay.
So, yeah.
We'll check it out. Maybe you'll change my.
Right. Let's hope.
Rating this up. Thank you to everyone in Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for
Jorge.
subscribing, liking, and all
Right.
Getting there.
there.
Jorge, Alien or Predator?
Alien.
Mihai?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also given. Mihai,
Oh, we're gonna get an alien.
Robocop or Terminator?
Oh my god.
Terminator? What about you, Jorge?
I really like the latest RoboCop.
Okay.
The revamp, I thought it was an interesting revamp.
Yeah.
I haven't played the game, but I saw some good reviews, and I want to do it.
Come on, Terminator 2. What amazing, like.
Yeah, Terminator 2 is like,
Yeah, that was great.
yeah, Terminator 2 is like a.
Yeah, I would go back to Terminator.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. If I had two games, yeah.
Okay, Jorge, Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction?
Ah, shit, man. Reservoir Dogs.
Whoa, Mihai?
Best,
Why?
Best ending ever.
Okay.
Yeah, so cool. So,
Yeah.
such an amazing ensemble of actors. I mean, again, Pulp Fiction is amazing too. Like, but really, he was.
The dynamic between them, the whole shit, how it flows all the way to the end. Explosive ending. Come on, man. You don't
Right.
see that.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. And also,
This is very unfair.
what he was able to do with the budget that he had, because like we only have these actors and these sets, and yeah.
Yeah, it felt like a theater play.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so, and I thought that was
Awesomely
right?
done, yeah.
The best indie movie. Actually, it doesn't feel like an indie movie, but made with a super low budget, and luckily they were able to stand it.
Yeah, I get that. We're at the end here. Mihai, Back to the Future or Ghostbusters?
Oh dear.
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know, I thought always Ghostbusters.
I haven't seen the latest one. Yeah, yeah, me too.
Wait, hold on. You're saying that Back to the Future is not silly?
No,
Oh, did you say chicken kind of thing? Okay. Guys, Jorge, World of Warcraft or StarCraft?
StarCraft all the way.
Okay, fine.
Love it. I actually played it a lot. They're completely different.
I know. Mihai.
I personally prefer playing StarCraft,
Yeah.
and I want to see more of the
Love it.
StarCraft games being released. And obviously, StarCraft never got its own MMO, but
Yeah.
if you're saying
You're
influence on
me.
games media, fuck it,
Yeah, of course.
massive. I mean, people still play. Like,
Yeah.
what I saw some statistics on this. Like, they still have like 1 million like subscribers or something. It's just nuts.
Yeah.
Still going.
Yeah. After what, like 20 years old?
Yeah.
Dude.
This is the last one, and I know the answer.
Oh
already.
my God.
Mihai, Age of Empires or Civ?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Well, I grew up.
We can talk another hour about this.
So true story. I'm in high school, and I had access to a computer lab where they had 3 advanced computers at the time, and they had Civilization installed on those computers, and I played every day the entire summer vacation from the moment the lab opened to the moment it closed. So I was there basically every day from 9 to 5. Playing Civ 1, okay, and then
Wow, yeah. I love that one.
Civ reached some level of mastery in the game, and to this day, turn-based strategy is my favorite one.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Before we go, I just want to give a shout out to the comments. Dendi357 says, I'm Team Marvel. We can write stories, that kind of stories for the video games here in Amber at any time. That's what she's claiming.
I should.
Rogelio Gaming said, Dr. Manhattan is the best character. Yeah, we didn't talk about Watchmen. I would go Watchmen anyway.
I will go watch.
Yeah, yeah. Then they also said, I like Black Widow because it's a normal human with training fighting together with superheroes.
I'm
like that.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, somebody will say that She-Hulk too, but I mean,
Oh, no.
Right.
One of us will do it.
Finally, Rogelio says Pulp Fiction, and then he says Ghostbusters Forever. So, there's a bit of everything here. But guys, that was our show. That was our last. I hope you guys know our CEO and GM way better now with this.
Thank you.
Please, again, if you have any questions, shoot in the comments, share this, spread it around, and we'll make sure to have more guests like this with Mihai. And that's about it. Guys,
Thank you, Lorenzo. This was an amazing experience. Thank you for guiding us.
it's cool.
Thank you, Marquito. Thank you, Papa. I'm here, and thank you for watching.
Thank you, Miguelito.
Right. Guys, you can find me wherever at Marquito, Jorge.
JorgeSuarez.com.mx and Mihai, they can find you at LinkedIn, maybe.
Absolutely. Mihai Pohontu on LinkedIn or Mihai@amberstudio.com.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing and commenting. We'll see you next Thursday. And that's it.
Take care.
See you, everyone.
Bye.